Darkest Dungeon, 8 views. But Monstrum's over here with its 104 views, just chill. Cuphead? Ugh, 5 views. Oh, here comes Monstrum with its 175. Hacked Undertale has 6 views. But then take a look at Monstrum with its 202 views. There's clearly something wrong here because, look, even my highly edited videos like those 2 Dark Souls Let's Plays that I made, which I stopped making because they weren't even getting any views, those that I actually spent a lot of time and effort editing have less views than Monstrum. That's just a straight clip of me playing the game. So here's what I'm thinking to myself. Clearly I need to make more Monstrum videos, but I don't really want to make any more just straight Let's Plays with no editing. But there's only 3 monsters in the game, so it's not like I can make another guide for each of them. So what I decided to do was create one big video explaining everything that I know about the game and seeing if it's the edited videos or just Monstrum that's affecting the views so much. So without further ado, please sit back, relax, apparently 175 people should be watching this right now, and enjoy my big video for Monstrum. Hopefully this is a send-off and not going to be revisited later because really I have nothing else that I could possibly talk about with this game, alright? Ah, Monstrum. What a game. I remember 100% completing this thing, and I was so proud of myself. I mean, until I got a new computer and all my progress was erased because who cares about me, right? Anyway, a whole lot of anger towards my computer aside, I think the best place to start this video would be the story of the game, where you start and all that. So let's get right into it. Oh, sorry, did I write story? I meant vague hints, really. What really happens when you start up the game, it's not a cutscene or anything that might tell you what's going on. You kind of just start up, and you're in either some sort of supply closet, like I am here, or a bathroom. It's all entirely random. Expect me to say that a lot during this video. Things are random, because most of the levels are completely randomly generated, and really there's no way for me to know exactly what's going to be in your game. So let's just go for what's in this one. So you get a flashlight, you get a fuse maybe with some notes, and all that stuff's great. You walk out, and this is the part of the video where I have no idea what's going to happen for you, because everything beyond this point right here is 100% random. I'm not kidding you. There's nothing beyond this point that would possibly be any similar to my game. Do you understand that? I mean, well, except for a few areas at least. Stumbling through this strange area, at least to your character, you'll find a submarine, a helicopter, and a life raft that's deflated. Notice that each time I find these, your character adds a note to their notebook, which you always keep on you, adding notes depending on what happens to you. This will update your notebook to tell you exactly what you need in order to escape the ship in that way. Yes, there are 3 ways to get off of the ship. And by the way, speaking of the notebook, your character is a frickin' idiot, alright? It takes them to walk outside of the door to see all the ocean around them, for them to realize that they're on a ship. I mean, maybe the words deck with a number on it could have told you, I don't know. You know what, your guy's really stupid, even if he does die, which obviously wouldn't happen. There's no danger on this ship, guys, am I right? The notebook isn't completely worthless, I guess. It does track exactly what you have done to complete a certain goal. Like if you only have one thing done on your escape, you will have that checked, so now you know you've done it. So I guess if you're an hour since you've last played, you can remember. Though unfortunately you can't save the game, so it's unlikely you're gonna turn it off, come back, and then have forgotten. I don't know. I guess it's just kind of a nice feature to have. So anyway, you're out gathering all these materials that you need to fix whatever escape route you choose to go for. Maybe you go through some hallways, find some rooms. Everything's going fine until... That was a weird sound. Anyway, just keep going on until maybe you'll find something... Alright, I'm sure that's just the ship moving, right? I mean, come on. It's not like it can be anything else, right? Oh yeah, by the way, you might want to turn off these steam things. They can really mess you up. They just completely stop you dead in your tracks, so just turn them all off and... Wait, was there something moving there? Hang on, I'll just go over there and... Whoa, what is that? What is... Oh my god! No! Ah! Teehee? Hoo-hoo-hoo! Would you like to try again? You should expect to see this game over screen a lot, because this game is very hard, alright? At least for people who don't know all the little tips and tricks and stuff. So, if you don't want to learn those, if you want to get the true, full experience, I would recommend that you stop this video right now, because this game is definitely better on your first attempt, because it kind of stops getting scary. This isn't even a review. This is just a guide. Now that I think about it, I guess any game stops being scary when you know enough about it. Because once you know all the numbers and all the little tricks that you can do to keep yourself alive, then it stops being scary because there's no unknowns. So no, I guess it's not even a bash against this game. This is just a bash against horror games, really? Horror games in general. Just don't make them learnable, alright? I want to die for unfair reasons. Come on, game designers. But that's really as far as it goes with the story in this game. There's really not a whole lot here. It's more about the... Can you guess it? I bet you can guess it. Come on, give it another try. Well, I guess if that warning didn't scare you, then hello and welcome. Because I am going to beat the scares out of this game, alright? Alright, there's a second helping of warning there for you. Just for all you special little snowflakes out there who thought you could make it through. You're scared now, aren't you? Yeah, I know I can do that to people. So first, let's unscarify the things that you are supposed to be scared of. AKA the thing I showed you a little preview of, the monsters. Each time you start up a game, you'll be with one of three monsters. The Brute, who is big, fast, tough, and not much else. The Hunter, who is none of those things and nothing else. And then finally you have the Fiend. Jeez, you know what? Whatever I said before, don't even worry about that anymore, because the Fiend, jeez, this guy is gonna scare you no matter what. This is one of the most horrifying things I've ever found in a game. Don't care what else you may show me, the Fiend is number one, alright? Number one scariest enemy of all time. But other than the Fiend, there's really no one else in this game that could scare you. What's the Brute got? Well, he can break down doors, it's very scary. What does the Hunter got? He can flop down in front of you, or I'm sorry, who's confirmed. She can flop down in front of you from vents, and then wait there for a second while you run away, and then kind of go real slow after you. I mean, come on. What do all these other guys got? Just make sure you remember that whole Brute can break down doors thing, because you might be like, hey, yeah, this lock's gonna stop you, and then it doesn't work, and you're like, oh no, it didn't work, and it's just all sad times for everyone. But one thing that will work against all of these monsters, even the Fiend, is just continuing to run, alright? Just continue to run. Don't use any of the hiding spots, because that always leaves a chance the monster's gonna pick that one, and then you'll get found again, and then you'll just be back to running. So just keep running, making turns, especially if it's the Fiend, because the Fiend has that whole psychic ability that if he looks at you for long enough, he gets stunned and stuff, which makes no sense, doesn't make any sense, and scariest enemy. They will eventually lose you, because guess what? They're all slower than you. Alright? Am I supposed to be scared of a monster that moves slower than me? I don't think so. And another reason to not be scared of these monsters is the footage that you're seeing right now. It was just me experimenting with the game. I had a timer up, and I just stood in front of this camera right when the match started. And what I was able to conclude is that the monster will not spawn until 2 minutes into the game. Meaning that if you get really lucky and find all the items that you need right away, you can potentially get out before there is even a threat on the ship. Boom! Unscarified. Alright, next thing to unscarify. Oh yeah, did I mention the cameras? Yeah, don't worry about them. Unless you're up against the hunter, they really won't help the monster at all. In fact, they more help you because you can use them to lure the monster wherever you want. And, you know what? I guess it was supposed to be some sort of spoopy obstacle, but if they're really that much of a problem for you, or you're just up against the hunter, use the duct tape on them. It doesn't use up the duct tape, and just make sure that you do as many cameras as you can before you put it on the life raft, and you'll get the most mileage out of it. Alright, that's pro tips with me. Alright, actually next thing now. Well, I guess the only other two things I have left to talk about are things to look out for, like sound cues, and visual cues, and the items. I don't really want to make a big fancy intro for these next two sections because they really aren't all that important. You, over time, just kind of learn all the different sound cues, what is important and what's not. Like, if it just sounds like the ship is settling, and doesn't clearly sound like footsteps, or a weird sort of wavy, I don't really know how to describe it, sound effect, or the hunter slapping around, then it's really nothing. Alright, so let's just get into the items. So, first category that we have here are the breakables. The cups and glasses that you'll find around. You can throw these. I don't know if they actually do anything. I've tried them many times. They don't really ever seem to work. Or if they do, it's not enough to really matter. I wouldn't advise picking one of these things up because it really just takes up space in your inventory. And the only way that you can get rid of them is by breaking them. So if it really does lure the monster there, then you're just kind of luring them to you. That's kind of stupid, right? Alright, the next category is light sources. The only light source that you need is the flashlight. The glow sticks, also kind of worthless, because especially if you're up against the fiend, you can use the flashlight to see if the fiend is nearby, because there's a circle, not a sphere, around the fiend that has the lights flicker, and the glow sticks do not count as this sort of flickering light. And the lighter, also pretty worthless, because it only really serves a purpose if you have a gas canister to spare, and really, who's gonna set up a huge elaborate trap just to stun the monster for a second? Because if you pour gasoline on the ground and then light it on fire with the lighter, and then the monster happens to step through it, I don't even know if it works on the brute. I haven't tried it on the brute, but I know it works for the hunter and fiend. They'll get stunned for a split second, but really, who's gonna set this all up? Alright, the next type of item is the weapons. There's only two of these, and it's the fire extinguisher and the dang it, I cannot, flare gun. My god, I could not think of flare gun. Use these to stun the monster. That's pretty much as far as their use goes. Don't fire the flare gun in the air. Won't do anything. Just wasting your ammo. Alright, is there any other items? Alright, backpacks. Backpacks are very useful. If you see a backpack in a locked room or boarded up room or anything like that, you best get it, because getting extra inventory space is vital. Alright? I don't think I've ever survived a match long term that didn't involve me getting a backpack at some point. There are only two types of items that are more important than backpacks, and that's fuses and the key items. The key items being the items that you need in order to escape the ship. You kind of need these. They're a little bit important. And if you're going for the submarine, you will also need a fuse. The fuses are really special, alright? You want as many of these as possible. They're basically your keys for powered doors, and having extra light, especially against the fiend, there's a lot of especially against the fiend kind of things, tips in this, but really the fiend is the only big threat in this game, trust me. If you have it not all lit up, the fiend is really hard to detect, though there are still a few lights on the ground that you'll see. You know what? this game has a lot of safeguards for you. It's a little bit too much, if you ask me. I honestly would have liked it better if there were no lights at all when the floor that you're on isn't powered. But anyway, that's beside the point. The final type of item that is sometimes useful, sometimes not, are the noisemakers. The radio and the egg timer. This could kind of go underneath with the breakables, but I haven't actually seen the breakables work at all. The radio is kind of a downgraded version of the egg timer, because the egg timer you can set and then have it go off after you've left. The radio you have to turn on yourself and then run away. So get an egg timer if you can, but a radio will work as well. The big important use of these noise-making items is to throw them through the windows of broken doors. A lot of people don't realize they can do that. If you see a door that you can't open that isn't powered, but the window is kind of broken in, throw one of these items in and have the monster take care of it for you. There's this kind of secondary objective that you can do in the basement. There's this engine room that a lot of people probably won't ever find. It took me a while to find it. That has a way to turn off all the steam on the ship, which can be pretty useful. What you have to do is find the boarded up door and then power the section. Find the number of the phone that is in the boarded up room. Call the phone so the monster hears the phone ringing. Have them break it, run away for a bit, come back, then turn off the steam. If you want my honest opinion, this is way too much work to do this. You can just turn off all the steam one by one. But I guess if you want to do this, there is an achievement. So if you're an achievement hunter, you're going to have to do this at some point. That's just a little secondary objective for you to do if you want. But really, you don't need to. And really, that's it. That's everything I really know about this game. Maybe there's a few extra tips that you don't really know yet because I haven't taught you and I'm your only source of information apparently. Just go on the wiki, alright? Yeah, I'm not even gonna give this video a really awesome outro, you know, I'm just gonna go tell you to read the wiki for extra tips and stuff. Keep running, all the monsters are slower than you. The Fiend and the Hunter are the only ones that are worth locking doors for, because it actually slows them down. Magic wand powers end the video now.